Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And before I get this video started, make sure to pause the video, grab a snack, a drink, a coffee, whatever you like, because this is going to be a longer video. So now let's get started. So today, some interesting information was revealed. So this is a very big update for all T-Mobile and Sprint customers. I do have an article here by PC Magazine's Sasha Segan. So I will leave that in the description down below so you could check it out. And there are also two maps, New York City and Philadelphia, of where the 2.5 footprint is already active and live on the network. So I'll definitely leave this in the description down below so you guys can check that out and see for yourselves. So now here we have some interesting updates. So for one, now all Sprint customers starting on April 28th are going to receive a software update. If you are a Sprint customer, you may have already received a text message regarding this. You are going to receive a software update on your Galaxy S20 5G. That's going to give you access to T-Mobile's nationwide 5G network. So that's the first update. If you have a 5G S20 on Sprint, you're going to get that update. And that text message is also letting customers know from Sprint, if they want to have access to T-Mobile's 5G nationwide network, they're going to need a Galaxy S20 5G. So this message has a double meaning. So that's really good. I was hoping that Verizon and AT&T would also do something similar to their customers. Hey, if you want the best network experience, these are the devices that we recommend. It's just a quick text message. It doesn't take a lot of work. But I do think this is a really good step by a Sprint to send this out to their customers, that if you have a Galaxy S20 5G, you get that software update on the 28th of April. Or if you want the 5G, you need an S20 5G. This is a very great message to send out to the customers here. So again, if you are new to the channel, the merger of Sprint and T-Mobile closed April 1st. So it took them roughly about 20 days to make this happen in New York and Philadelphia. Now, of course, it is not as widespread as it will be, say, next year, but they focused on the urban, more denser areas that are more heavily populated, and it gave them an immediate speed boost of peak speeds. Neville said this morning of 600 megabits per second. So that is a really good achievement early on in the first 20 days. Very, very great in my opinion. And that's only going to gradually increase as they fully integrate, expand beyond that footprint that you see on these maps. So speeds are definitely going to increase on this network. It's going to be a robust network. It's going to be great. But here's the thing that I wanted to talk about. So as more customers are going onto the network, coming from Sprint, the Boost customer that's going to be transferred over to Dish, they're going to come onto the network. And then many other people could come from Verizon and AT&T that are excited about this. They could already be switching or considering it. We have an iPhone launch coming in a couple of months. So there could be many, many people coming onto this network. And is it really ready to handle that much traffic? So we know the 2.5 is going to present an immense amount of capacity boost. I know that, but I don't see that happening, that type of boost that they're speaking of, until the networks are physically integrated, until you see Sprint equipment on a T-Mobile tower and T-Mobile equipment on the Sprint tower. That's when we get to see the full boost of both, of the both combined networks. And for now, early on, I don't think that will be the case. We'll see some improvements, but are those improvements going to be enough to hold the demand of everybody that's going to be pushed over to the network? So like I said, T-Mobile is going to have a network modeling and a business modeling that shows, okay, these areas are going to be the most impacted by the combination, and this is what we're anticipating to lose. So they are anticipating, I don't know the official number, but I want to say it's probably around 15-20% loss on this merger. So they are anticipating some people to walk away based on this merger. Now, their first priority, of course, T-Mobile, the new T-Mobile's priority, the first big priority is they want to keep as many customers of Sprint's and make it a very smooth transition. They done that with Metro PCS. That was a great merger, but it was not the size and scale of this merger. Metro PCS merger was far smaller. They did do it in the phases. They had a very good plan, but this is a far bigger merger than anything Metro PCS ever was. There's many more customers that are affected. There are some people that could experience a much bigger issue, not on a nationwide scale, but on an individual basis where you work, play. You could now be pushing. I've seen it. People have told me. They were like, hey, I'm now getting very aggressive T-Mobile roaming that's slower than what I was getting on on Sprint's native network. So people could be affected by it in that way. And now they're like, I used to get 60, 70, 80 megabits per second in the spot. Now I only get 6, 7 megabits with the T-Mobile roaming. So now they're like, you know what? I'm just going to leave. I didn't know it was going to be like this, that aggressive, that quick. So I've seen it. I've gotten many emails like that. So they have to work very, very quickly on getting this fully and natively switched over. I know they recently raised the cap, so there's no more roaming cap on speed. Now, if T-Mobile does 150 in that area and you're roaming on that network, you're going to get that 150. Now, I know there's a little bit of difference on latency, and some people said upload as well. There's a bit of difference, but the speed should be very similar to what a native T-Mobile customer gets on Sprint with the roaming. So that's a very good thing. But there's lots of parts and factors that play into this. Market share is going to be a big one. T-Mobile has gained over the years lots and lots of market share in some of the bigger metro areas. I would say in the top 50, although Sprint hasn't really been gaining many customers, they've been on the decline. They still had in some of these markets like Chicago, New York, they've still had anywhere from 10 to 20% of customers in those areas that'll now be added to the already high market share for T-Mobile. So effectively in some of these areas, T-Mobile could have anywhere from between 35 to 45% of market share. And the difference is in an area like El Paso, T-Mobile has high market share. You add Sprint to it now, they could be potentially at 44, 45% market share. This same market share here compared to the population in Los Angeles and New York City, it doesn't hold the same weight. There's going to be many, many more people because both Los Angeles and New York City have a higher population that are going to pull demand from the network at 45% compared to El Paso. So, of course, those bigger cities are going to become a much, much higher priority than any other city. Although there are some cities that have priority. El Paso still has priority. It's just you want to keep up with the demand of the network. Early on right now, that roaming agreement, well, not agreement anymore. It's now pretty much, you can call it a native deal. That's already putting strain on T-Mobile's network. So if you are in your basement, if you are in your home, if you are at work, if you are still working, and you now see T-Mobile's band 66, that means that you are now an added customer on T-Mobile's network. So before, that network may have been doing 120, 130, 140 in that area. But now with all the new Sprint customers that are roaming on that tower, that sector, those speeds are going to drastically decline. Same with the 5G network, nationwide 5G network on the 28th of April. So that means the smaller slice of low band bandwidth that we already got, which is 20 megahertz on downlink, is now also going to be clogged with the Sprint customer. So it's not going to be as fast as what many people are making it out to be. Just like I said, I've always kept it honest on this channel. It's going to become slower. Although T-Mobile has gotten additional 600 from Dish, from Columbia, from Comcast, the channels are just not as wide as, say, a mid-band or the 2.5 or the millimeter wave to make up for all that demand on the network. And it's going to be more demand because Sprint's coverage just did not fare compared to T-Mobile's broader 5G coverage pretty much anywhere, indoors, outside of the metro, the suburban areas. T-Mobile just had a better footprint in those areas. So just to put that into perspective, there's lots and lots of factors that are going to play into this merger, and many still haven't been seen. We still have to keep track of the integration of the billing system. When is that going to take place? They gave us indication and a very strong message that the Sprint customer would not be affected, but we all know from a business standpoint, eventually they have to start making money, and they're going to start looking at the Sprint customer, the Kickstarter plans, the free 4 years, the 50% offs. They're going to start looking at that, and they're going to say, look, we're going to have to make these switches, not early on, but we're going to have to switch you onto a T-Mobile price plan. So like I said, just keep all of that in mind. April 28th, I'll definitely keep an eye out to see if there's any more updates. But for now, the first big update, if you are a Sprint customer and you have a Galaxy S25G, you will get a software update that you can update to, and then you will have access to T-Mobile's 5G nationwide network. And it's going to be very interesting. And of course, you'll also have access with that update to Sprint's 2.5 in the areas where it's already made available, like Philadelphia or New York City. There isn't any official testing yet because of the whole situation with the COVID-19. But as soon as that's over, I'm sure PC Magazine, Root Metrics, Ookla, OpenSignal, I mean, everybody's going to start going bananas on testing. So just bear with everybody, and we'll see what the real world results are. Remember, peak speeds are hardly ever hit in a real world scenario. So we'll see. Maybe it's 50, maybe it's 100, 2, 3, 4, whatever the case may be. But a peak speed of 600 is not necessarily very realistic in a real world setting. You got to see how it's affected overall. In my opinion, I would be satisfied if it's just better than it was. So if a T-Mobile customer goes to this certain area in Philadelphia and says, before this, I was only getting 2, 3, 4 megabits per second. Now I'm getting 80, 120, 150. That is a total win for the Sprint customer and the T-Mobile customer in my book. And it should be the same for you. You can do just about anything on 150 megabits per second. So let me know what you think about all this. I know it was lots of news, longer video, as I stated at the beginning. I will leave the article in the description down below so you guys can check it out. There are 2 maps, again, in this. So like I said here, if you see, mainly the Manhattan area got the 2.5. It's the lighter pink. The white is the millimeter wave. So they have that active on the macro sites in New York City. And then as you see, the lighter pink is 2.5 in Philadelphia. So they are going to aggressively, of course, expand that to the surrounding footprint. But for now, that's the footprint that they have established. Within 20 days, that's, in my opinion, that's great. 20 days, you got that established. What is it going to look like 3, 4, 5 months from now? So just stay tuned to the channel for more updates. As I said, if you are new, make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you have been on the channel, you can go ahead and end the video now. I will let you guys know. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit the notification bell so you are notified when I upload content. YouTube has been dropping the ball on this, so make sure to follow the Twitter. If you have one, I will leave it in the description down below so you guys can get the updates the second they become available. I do post the videos on Twitter as well. And if you do have a Twitter, make sure to also follow the push notifications on my Twitter. So when I upload it, you get notified on your end as well. And this is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.